Okay, here is part two for our project. So you're going to start with just a piece of computer paper. It might be a little bit better for you if you choose something a little bit thicker, like construction paper. I have a piece of cardstock, but computer paper will work fine if that's all that you have. So I'm going to tilt my screen down to show you here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the bottom of your paper and you're going to, you could fold it right in half, but I'm going to fold it up. Can you see that? So I've left about 1 inch of a lip right there. But when I fold it, I'm going to make sure my edges all are flush and they line up. And I am going to crease the middle line pretty good. Okay. So when I open that back up, what's going to happen is that down here is going to be my table where my flower vase is going to sit. So this is going to be the line for where the table meets my background, my wall. And then you have many, many choices. You can decide however you want to decorate this background. You could do it with very simple wallpaper. You could do a pattern for that wallpaper. You could do a solid color if you so choose. In my example, I did a checkerboard, but really the choices are endless and that is completely up to you. I'm going to do some quick stripes. I do think it's important that you do decorate it in some way. It doesn't have to be super exciting or anything, but it will give your flower vase some contrast, and I think it will just add a little bit of dimension to your art project. So you can go ahead and decorate the background. While you are watching this video, you can get started and then you can pause it if you'd like to. I am going to just finish up my stripes so I can show you the next step. Before you do the next step, you do want to finish your background. I guess it's not 100% necessary, but we are going to make a couple cuts into this paper. And if you have the background done, it will just make sure that your background is nice and even and there are no lumpy bumpies, even though there are lumpy bumpies in mine because my table has ridges in it, but that is okay. If you're using markers, I'll just give you a quick reminder. I'm using my Mr. Sketch markers, whether you're using Crayolas or Crazy Art or Mr. Sketch or crayons. I always try to make sure my color goes in the same direction. And especially when I'm using those markers, I want to try to find the thick side of my marker and I want to try to do those even streaks or stripes of color. So my stripes are done at this point, and I am going to fold my paper back in half. Okay, now we could be really exact when we do this. So if I wanted to, I know that my paper is 8.5, so I could find the perfect center at 4 1/4, and then I could measure on both sides. But let's be honest, you don't need to take the time to do that. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to kind of see where I think halfway is, and then I'm going to just measure with my fingers. I'm going to measure 2 fingers on one side and 2 fingers on the other side. And I'm going to bring those lines up about the length of my thumb. Do try to make them the same on both sides. That will be important for a straight pop out. But I have 2 vertical lines that come up from my fold. So here's my table fold. I fold it up. I found the center, or what I thought was the center, and then I brought, hopefully evenly, 2 fingers on each side. I brought up those vertical lines. So your next step is going to be to cut those vertical lines. I'm going to try to keep those nice and vertical and straight, perpendicular to the bottom so that they form some nice right angles. And then I'm going to just do this. I'm going to fold it one way, all the way up to where my cut is, and I'm going to turn my paper over and I'm going to fold it the other way. So when I open my paper, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have this pop out little table here. Can you see that? It almost looks like a cube popping out there. And this is what our vases are going to attach to. So I'm going to pause it there. I'll stop there and I'll show you how to put that together.